This is the incredibly impressive Predaking action figure, but before I give the review of the combined mode, I'm gonna talk about and show the individual robots that make up Predaking first, and then continue the review of this figure at the end. These are the instruction manuals, and I gotta say, for JinBao, it's a really sloppy instruction sheet. It's not well done. It's very confusing to rely on this. JinBao didn't do any favors by making this instruction set. It's very difficult to sort out what exactly to do. Here are all 6 Predacons in robot mode. Really impressive set of figures. But I think of the 3 modes, it is the Predaking mode that is the best option. And I think some of the robot modes look better on some figures than some of the others. But still, overall, it is quite an impressive set. The Predacons in animal modes, really impressive. Looks stand out, but I think the robot modes look better, and Predaking mode looks best. But just want to show you them all together. That's the animal modes. These are all the parts for the Predacons and Predaking to sort out. Some are the individual parts and accessories for the small robot modes, and the others for Predaking, which doesn't use all of these accessories. But there is a lot of parts to sort through. Look at this. For the 6 individual figures, and this is just a combined shot that I want to show you of all of the individual parts together. Since they're almost the same mold, the height is about 10 inches for each of them, and the width about 4 inches for each of them. Since some of the Predacons use the same body mold, but with slight variations, it will be easier to review some of the figures together because they are so close in quality. And for this reviewed in robot mode, it will be Tantrum, the bull, and Headstrong, the rhinoceros. And the molds are very similar. But first, let's take a look at some of the accessories are different. One of the things that makes this Predacons, all the figures, tough is to hold their accessories, because the hands do not have an articulation point finger area, and since this is third-party plastic, sometimes it's a tough fit to hold the accessories. Plus, you get concerned about the quality of the gold material here if it flakes off if you try to push it too much into the hand slot. So he has these. This is Tantrum. There are a lot of accessories in this line. These look pretty cool. And he has this in the backpack, which I'll take off because it's a little easier. He has these, which you could hold. And again, the fit, it's tough to really position it around. And before I get to the figure itself and the details, let's just check out the accessories for this one. He has these two cannons, which actually flip down. And he has these, which are definitely a different design. And this piece is the same. So the accessories are a bit different for each of the two. But now I'll show the individual figures. In terms of the individual robot figures, they are very similar in terms of the body mold. Other than the colors, a lot of the parts are the same. You see the knee accessory here, the lower legs, the feet, all the same. This part is a little different in terms of the design. You can see the design here. The design here is a little different, but these parts are the same. You can see the forearms are the same. You can see over here, this is the same. Even this area, it's the same. And the side hips. And the chest area, the design of the chest area is different. And the heads, even though they look similar to face, the heads are different. This one has like a mouth open look. This one's a little more serious. And the head design in the forehead is a little different. Even though what they're connected to is a different piece. This is a bull, this is a rhinoceros. But the faces are different. Chest area, the side here, it's a little different. But the rest is, it really is the same body mold, reused twice to make two different figures. What's pretty interesting, and you really don't see it on action figures, is the hips are two different independent sections here that rotate. And they have like the hip thing here. So that's pretty cool. That's a little different. And the coloring is different, but it is, as you can tell, the same mold. And for the articulation, I'll just do one of the figures, since it's the same for both of them. The head can turn side to side. That's about it, just a little bit like that. The shoulder area, up, down. You do have some in or out here. Here's an articulation here, like a bicep swivel. And at the elbow. And over here, it's like a double elbow in a way, because there's an upper part there. The wrist can go only in or out. It really is tough to hold the accessories on all the Predacons. Got a waist swivel. The hips up, down, can go in or out. Got an articulation at the thigh. Has a knee articulation. And the feet can go down, up. You do got some motion to the side, but you want to position it so it looks okay in terms of the transformation. And so that's Tantrum on the left, Headstrong on the right. very similar figures in terms of the mold for the robots. And the animal modes for both of them, there is a lot going on because of the accessories. And I'm just gonna remove the backpack and the accessories so we can see the details better. On each of them, you see it has these blades here, the cannons, and this. Now you can see the animals better here. It holds the accessories well. Just take those out. It is almost 7 inches long to the tip and 4 inches wide. A rhinoceros here and the bull. Same sculpt basically, just the headpiece is different. And yeah, you can swing this around. And the funny thing is, if you open the mouth, you get to see the face of the robot mode. And the same thing here. The rhinoceros, if you open the mouth, you get to see the robot mode face. So keep it closed. The head can spin, as well as over here. Go in or out. Some of the leg articulation. And by the paw. It's just set up. Same for the back feet. It's set up to get some basic poses. And you can turn the waist. Both of them look pretty solid overall. But again, I think the robot mode looks a little better. Because, you know, there's so much going on here that's not really animal detailing. That's why they probably put a big backpack on to cover it up. And you can see the parts. It's the same thing, really. But not too bad overall. Since they have the same mold, the height will be about the same. It's about 8.5 inches in height, and the width is about 4 inches. And this is a review on Rampage, the left, tiger, and Felisaber, the right, a saber-tooth tiger. They use the same body mold with slight differences as well. And what's unique about Felisaber is the Predacons are only 5 characters. They made a 6th character and they just switched off the body mold. But it's like a new custom character in a way for the set. So you got 6 Predacons here. Gonna go over the accessories first, and then show the figure. This one has a blaster here. Gonna take this out. He also has, and could hold in the back, these twin blades. And Felisaber here, he has this blaster, which is different. He has this pot, which actually belongs to Razorclaw, the leader of the Predacons. And he has this, which is like a mask, a robotic mask for Saber-tooth. And it could actually, it's supposed to fit under the wrist area here as sort of like a shield or weapon. But it's tough for me to get the connection points right, and I'm concerned about the plastic cracking on this. It already is split in the middle, the two halves you put together, but it's not really secure. And when he's in his animal mode, you could put it on as an extra headpiece, so I just wanted to keep that separate. So the individual accessories are different, even if the figures are almost the same. One thing to note on these two is sometimes on the manual, the wrist is, you want this to cover the hand, sort of like a claw accessory covering the hand. Or is it supposed to be flipped back this way and you have the hand exposed? I think either mode it could be. See what I mean? You could either pose it like this, or you could cover up the wrist area. And just like with Tantrum and Headstrong, the molds are almost the same for these two. You could see the lower legs are the same. Even the sides here are the same. The spikes here, the same. The arm design. The only real differences are the head of the tiger and the saber-tooth. It's a different headpiece. The chest area here, it's sculpted different here. So I'll give him credit. They did change it a little bit. They changed the upper section here. And the head is different. When you look at the head mold of Rampage, it is very different from Felisaber. I think this one is more detailed in terms of the head. And let's look at the eyes, the eye color, having that blue to it. That one looks more detailed than this one, with the yellow eyes, the mouth, just a faceplate covering the mouth. Not too much detailing here, but this one is more detailed. And even here, this, as mentioned, that's a little more detailing here than that, which is straight. And the headpiece, again, it's just easy to swap out. That's really the only difference. And in a way, the yellow stands out more for a display than this one, than Rampage. But again, robot mode's just about the same. And for articulation, since it's just about the same figure, let's look at this one. The head can turn side to side, and you do get good range up and down, actually. A little bit down, up to the sides. You can turn this if you wanted to. And yeah, the mouth does open, even for this mode. And again, if you want to do the same here, display it like that. shoulder area, can rotate it. And here's what's actually kind of tough. The arm area can go in or out, and you have that bicep swivel. And you have like a double elbow thing here. The wrist on each of them is posed for the hand upside, like in an open position for each hand. So if you wanted to hold its accessories and actually look good, you have to pose it out like this. Because if you want to hold something, if you put that into position down like this, he's only going to hold it this way because it has no wrist swivel. And so you really can't correct it. You know what I mean? It's just weird that they don't have that wrist swivel that it needed. And you can only go in or out. The waist has a swivel. And also here at the upper, it has two swivel points. Same here. Swivel it here and here. The hips, in or out, ball joint, up or down. You got a swivel here by the knee area, and it got a knee articulation. And the feet, in or out to the sides, but again, you want to hold it in a good transformation pose. It's a nice design, but the wrist area, since you got to turn it to kind of like try to pose it right with the arms to make weird positions, since it can't hold its accessories, that's kind of unfortunate for the hand area. These two are almost the same. It is about 7.5 inches to the side and about 4 inches across. What's different is on this one, he has this head cover, and you could just put it over here, so it's like a mechanical head cover. But the figure itself is, for the most part, the same. You can see it has the accessories you can attach to the shoulder area. And if you can take it off here. And this one, let's take it off. And mold-wise, again, maybe the yellow stands out a little more, but they're both pretty good animal modes. Take a look at this. It holds together really well, this one and the other one, transformation-wise. And for the articulation, it's really just like you could spin here, articulate it here, the elbows, the feet area. Can rotate this a bit, the waist, hip area, over here, right here, just about over there. You can turn the head and the mouth. Same thing here. The tail. That's about it. It is about 9.5 inches tall, if you count the tip of the head. And the shoulder area width is about 4 inches. But if you include the wings, it is about 8 inches. This is Divebomb, robot mode. And right away, it really stands out because of the wings. And when he's part of Predaking, it's the wings that really stand out. But first, let's check out the accessories he has. He has has these two pieces and this. This is can flip out here. And he can hold it. And he has these two chromed blades. But what's really nice and stands out is these on the forearms. Got a pair of blasters. Of the 6 Predacons, only Razorclaw, the leader, and this guy are unique sculpts that they did not redo. The other 4 Predacons have they reused it, the molds, but this one and Razorclaw they did not reuse. So he's one of the 2 only unique ones in the line. And let's check out the wings. They are pretty dynamic here. Look at that. You could flip them down all the way back. You could flip it forward. And look at this. You could spread out the wings. Not only can you raise it high, what's really cool is you see how you can position these pieces. Really stands out when you position it like that. But just to make the review easier, I'm gonna close it down here. It is a backpack accessory that just attaches here. And let me just take that off for the rest of the review, make it easier. This tail piece is connected, so you're kind of stuck with it there. There's definitely space here for an insignia. The head, you can see here. Head sculpt's not too bad. Got like a visor, mouth area. It's attached to the head of the eagle. The design here looks pretty cool. A unique design. Again, the wrist area, having those blasters there definitely helps out. This is the claw feet in the other mode. They did a good job in terms of the sculpting detail, making this look like a really nice robot mode. The head, a ball joint, a little up down, can go to the sides. Shoulder area, up down, in out, swivel bicep, has a double elbow articulation. The wrist, the hand, in or out, and this one's positioned correctly, position wise. The double waist over here and lower. And the hips got ball jointed to the sides, up down, got a swivel here right above the kneecap area, has a knee articulation, and the feet can go up, down, to the sides a bit. But definitely standout character. The wings really make it look outstanding in design, and really nice robot mode for this character. This is about, I'd say, about 8.5 inches to the sides. If I want to include the wings here, it's about 10 inches if I include the wings here. This is the eagle mode. It's a very solid piece. You can put the accessories up there. Everything holds together really well on this one. And you're supposed to separate the feet, or you could put it together. It looks better together like that. And the wings, of course, very poseable. The height is about 10 inches. And the width about 4 inches. This is Razorclaw, the lion, the leader of the Predacons, and the main part of Predaking here. First, we'll look at the accessories. He really can't hold this. It's the hinged accessory that you're supposed to combine it, and it forms the tail of the lion. It has this, which is for Predaking really. It's supposed to be a shield type accessory that you put on the forearm, but I was having trouble connecting it. But that's really the Predaking piece. It has this blaster, which can't fit here. Again, the wrists and the hands are all the same, and they all hold their accessories very tough. It's not easy. And this huge blaster is for Predaking. So he has all of these parts. I always thought that the nicest accessory he had was the blasters here. They scope out for Predaking. And when he's in Predaking mode, you can flip him forward like that for a standout type feature. And I'm just gonna shaft it down here. Plus the lion mouth opens. This does not have articulation, so you cannot move that around. This is the head. Not too much detailing. Lion part. Like the ego, Razorclaw is only one of 2 unique characters in the line, with the other 4 having duplicates. So the back of the robot modes really don't look anything standout wise in terms of why anyone would pose it in that mode. And the front does look pretty cool, but again, the mane here takes up a lot of space. It looks very, very thick, a lot of the parts here, because he is the main part of Predaking. The head, let me just see, you can put the cannons down here. The head can't turn side to side a bit, can't go down, can't go up. Shoulder area does get in the way, this piece, so you can only rotate it so much. Up or down, can go in or out, and it has sort of that double elbow type thing here and here. But it's very tough to get some good arm poses out due to the mane. The wrist can go in or out a little bit. It also has our trouble like Rampage and Felisaber, that if you really want the hand pose properly, you got to turn it at the arm and the elbow area this way, when it should really be posed that way, the hand, or the arm area. So it makes weird articulation because of that. The waist does have an articulation point right there, and the hips on a ball joint, in, out, to the sides, swivel thigh here, does have a knee articulation. At the feet, not really, it's kind of weird to positioning, not really much, I would say, feet-wise. And that is Razorclaw. This is Razorclaw. It's about 9.5 inches across. And the width here is about 4.5, I would say. Really looks fantastic. The lion mode with the cannons here. The articulation here, it's like this part is loose. It's not really secure. The tail falls off easy. But again, I think I like the robot mode better, and the Predaking mode is the best of all three. But that is the lion mode. Razorclaw here has the tail, and you can scope in the cannons. As for articulation, it's very tough because there's a lot of like floppy parts, sort of. The mouth, the head cannot turn, but here you have like a double articulation here and over here, and the paw area, and the back of the feet over here, and the paw area. Again, the tail, you see it fell off loose there. And the waist, you can turn the waist a bit if you want, but this one on mine, it's having trouble holding together really well. So just really careful transforming this one. It is bigger than 16 inches. It is about 17 inches to the very top of the head. But if you want to go to the wing tips, it's almost 20 inches. And the width by the shoulder area is about 9.5 inches. This is Predaking, the combined mode of all 5 robots. And it's the original Predaking combination. Because sometimes they switch it. Sometimes the rhinoceros is here as it should be and the bull over here. Sometimes they're switched. And sometimes this is switched. But also this Felisaber could be an alternate mode, which could replace one of the arms, and I'll do that later. And in fact, it actually balances out better because it has the same mold as this. But let's just look at Predaking here. Incredibly detailed. One of the things that stands out is the wings. You can see the cannons there, and the lion mane. So I try to show the details here. Just look at it first. Incredibly detailed, this figure. And look at that. The funny thing is, this is so huge. That if you put it over here, it's taller than Predaking. You cannot really hold this because due to the weight, it's just gonna flop down. So let me just show the details of it. Just look at this, the incredible combined sword. It's actually bigger than Predaking from the handle all the way to the tip. It is about 23 inches. And the width right at the end here is about 3 inches. And he has this combined huge cannon. And that is almost 8 inches by about 2 inches. In other words, it's so heavy that the arm's not gonna hold it for long, and that's why it got to be like pretty much in a like a down position type of look to it. And look at this, you can see the hands here. There's spikes here. It just has one articulation point there. And the mouth can open, or you could close it. I like to keep it a little half open. The head sculpt. It is tough to review this figure because of the size and trying to capture it all in one image, but I'm trying to do my best here. One of the funny things is also, you see the arms here, the way it's positioned? If you position it this way, or I should say, you see this, there is an elbow articulation that only goes in or out. But if you want it to go up or down, like a real elbow, what I did here was I spun this around so the elbow could move up and down. If you spin it around, it actually looks thicker, the arms, more massive, and I think it looks better scale-wise for some reason to have that thicker look to the arms than if you put it this way. If you put it this way, the elbow only bends in or out this way. But if you put it this way, it bends up and down like it should. So that's an option. And if you put it this way, and I'll take out this here, the eagle feet, they kind of stand out in a bad way. And if you pick this up, you could see the tail of the eagle right in the back there. And again, you could see that the bits standing out is a bit odd. And this is huge, it's the combined pieces. Fits over here. Let's just show the side view. It stands well, it stands pretty put together well. It feels a little floppy, but not too much. This is the back view. Again, not really meant for posing on a back view. The other side view. And the front view. Again, I think it's just meant to just stand there more or less and look impressive, and it does an incredible job of that. Though it will be tough to properly position how to put this huge sword and make it look good, because if you want it in the air like that, it's going to take some work to maybe something to hold it in the back down a bit. Otherwise it's just going to flop to the ground. This sits pretty securely well on the side, and you can use it for either arm. Doing the best I can here, trying to show the articulation. The head can get side to side and some up or down motion. The shoulder area can go up or down. I want to be careful with the articulation here. Can do some in or out, but I really don't want to mess, because I heard some of the shoulder pegs on some could crack. I don't want to really mess with that. The elbows can go up or down, and you can spin it. And the hands by the wrist area, can spin that, and there's 4 fingers for one articulation point. The waist you can spin, but it's tough to turn on mine. And this part is floppy, this connection piece. The hips can go side to side and up and down. And it has a knee articulation point. And you can position the feet a little bit. You could pose it, you get some decent poses out of it, but I think more or less it's just meant to really stand there. On Predaking there is an alternate mode, and before I switch it I just wanted to mention it. You could use Felisaber, who has the same mold as Rampage, and you could switch it for one of the arms. Since this is yellow and this is yellow, I could put it here so you have like the two yellow pieces on one side. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it here and then put this one here and take this eagle out. And I think it'll balance better if I put one here to one here, and the way it will balance out in terms of the look. Here it is, an alternate mode to Predaking, and I think it actually balances out better. See the yellow here, and I put Felisaber here, and I put Rampage over here. You can see how it looks a little more balanced with the yellow colors. And I took out this part, the eagle. I just want to try to show the overall impression. And you could either move it this way, or let's say you wanted to make it look thicker, the arm area, or you could put it this position. So I don't know, maybe some people will like it this way or not. And yeah, the cannon fits and the sword for the overall impression. So you do get some options, and this alternate mode I think does work pretty well and looks maybe even a little bit better. Here's something funny. This eagle pot, it has a peg here, and maybe I could attach this to the back and put the wings here, so I could put this as part of Predaking, and I'm going to try if it's possible. It's not a perfect fit because it's loose here and it makes it back heavy and thicker, but let's just check out the front view. And would you look at that? It is definitely possible. 6 pieces of Predaking with all the parts here. It does look like the wings in the back stand out, that there is a depth over here where you could tell it's more in the back. And it is going to fall off unless you lean it against a wall because it's too back heavy. But if you just want it to get all 6 robot parts combined and you wanted the eagle part out of the way, you can technically put him in the back here. And again, the wings, I wouldn't recommend it really because the wings stand out way too much in the back. But it is definitely possible. And so you do have some options here. You could put him here or here, you could swip it around, put the eagle in the back if you wanted to. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on here. And I'm going to get my final overall impression of this Transformers Predaking action figure in a moment. Overall, my final interpretation of Predaking, this JinBao Oversized action figure, is it's an incredible deal. You get 6 robots, and the animal modes look okay, and some of the robot modes look better than others. But the combined Predaking mode is very impressive. I mean, it just looks really cool. Plus you get the 6th alternate pot, which you can't swap out for either arm if you want, because it balances better in a way. But this is more or less the official cartoon or comic look in terms of the parts here. And so you do get some options. You could switch these around, or you could switch those around. Either way, it looks really cool. And if you're considering getting Predaking, again, it's not the most articulated. It's not really meant for anything more than just, I think, to put on a display and to look impressive. And it does that job well. And so that's my review. And again, this will be top heavy, hard to pose properly. And I should mention that there is an upgrade set, which I didn't get. It would cost quite a bit more. Where I think they have a different head. They have a changeable mane, because this doesn't close or move this section, and it does on the changeable parts. They have a hand with each articulation, and I think a claw type finger end. And I think some of the individual robots got wrist swivels. So there are some upgraded extra parts that make it a little better, but it costs a bit more, and I don't think it is essential. And I'm not going to get it because this is impressive enough. I think it's fine as it is without the upgrades. But I just want to mention it, that those parts do exist. And again, final impression, impressive action figure, highly detailed. It looks fantastic displayed like this. And so that's the review. Thanks for watching, and talk to you later.